I already know why you're here watching this video. You have a lot of equity in your house and you want to use that equity in order to build wealth or to do something with it in order to make your day-to-day life a little bit easier without losing that juicy all-time low interest rate. But before you go and start using that credit card attached to your house known as a HELOC, you need to know my 3 best ways to use your home equity line of credit here in 2024. And the last one is by far the best. Let's get to it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you didn't already know, my name's Jay Costa. I'm a real estate agent, investor, and builder here in Northern New Jersey. And if you get value out of this video, please hit that like button down below after watching. Make sure you like it. Make sure you get something out of it. And also consider subscribing because we are slowly building a tight-knit community here of like-minded individuals looking to build wealth in real estate. And specifically, a lot of the time, we talk about using a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, in order to do so. Back to today's business, we are going to go over the 3 best ways to use your HELOC here in 2024. But not just the best ways. I wanted to give you the 3 best ways to use it safely and effectively with minimal risk to losing your home, because that is important, right? I will also go over what you should definitely not be doing with your home equity line of credit, and I will share with you my 3 golden rules for HELOC usage and HELOC investing. First, let's go over what a HELOC is. A HELOC stands for a home equity line of credit, and what it is it's basically a revolving credit line attached to the equity that you have in your home. In other words, it's basically a credit card that's attached to the equity in your home, and you can pretty much use it on whatever you want. And that's why you're here watching this video, right? Because a HELOC can be such a powerful and effective wealth building tool, but it can also lead you down a path of financial ruin and lead you to foreclosure or even bankruptcy. So a HELOC is very powerful, but what you use your HELOC on is even more powerful, both positive and negative. This brings me to my first way that I recommend you could use your HELOC in 2024, and that is consolidating debt. Now, debt consolidation in general makes total sense, right? You're basically taking debt that you have paying a certain interest rate and you're transferring it to a different loan product of some sort at a lower interest rate, effectively saving you hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year in interest. But debt consolidation can be also very tricky business because human nature never changes. And if your human nature got you into the situation where you racked up a bunch of credit card or consumer debt in the first place, what do you think you're gonna go do when that credit card balance is back down to zero and you feel like you saved a ton of money and somehow accomplished something by simply transferring the debt into another balance, another loan? You're probably going to go overspend yet again, especially if you feel like, hey, I just saved $2,000 a year in interest. Let me go spend that $2,000 because it's free money on something stupid. So you need to be honest with yourself. Are you this type of person? Are you this type of borrower? If so, don't do any debt consolidation. Just pay off your debt as quickly as possible because simply put, your problem is not an interest rate. Your problem is either overspending or an income problem that you need to fix and address ASAP. On the other hand, if you feel, and you're honest with yourself, if you feel like you do have the discipline to pay off that balance on the HELOC as quick as possible after consolidating the debt, then go ahead, save on the interest, put it into the HELOC, and pay off that HELOC as quick as possible. Also, there are other loan products that you can use in order to consolidate debt that are actually specifically made for consolidating debt. I don't know what the interest rates on those are. I don't have any personal experience with it, but they don't put a lien on the house that you and your family live in, so that may be a better option for consolidating debt. Keep that in mind. Now, the second way that you could use your home equity line of credit here in 2024 is as an emergency fund. Now, if you don't have $20,000 to $30,000 to go park in a savings account for a rainy day, think about using a home equity line of credit at a 0 balance. Don't go use it on bills or living expenses. Keep it at a 0 balance just in case something pops up that you don't have the money in hand for at that moment. We all know happens. Your heat stops working, a tree falls on your house, or God forbid you have some sort of unforeseen medical problem that your insurance doesn't cover. These are all unfortunately a part of life, something that you can't avoid. And these are things that have to be done. And keeping a HELOC balance empty for these sorts of unforeseen situations can allow you to A, go use that money to invest and make money somewhere in another way, and B, help you sleep at night. Give you a peace of mind that you know if you have something, God forbid, that comes up unforeseen like this, you do have a way in the short term anyway to pay it. But one thing I do notice from you guys in some of the comments that you leave is there's a misconception between something that needs to be done to your home, like a home repair, and a home improvement. So a home repair, like I said, is something that needs to be done. The roof needs to be fixed, your heat stopped working, your AC stopped working, things that you cannot avoid completing. Now, a home improvement is redoing or renovating, remodeling a bathroom because it's old and outdated. This is not a repair, it's actually an optional improvement. Now, I would strongly oppose using your HELOC for an optional improvement like this. And the reason for that is you're taking money out of the equity of your home, you're paying interest on that money of the equity that you take out, and you're adding minimal value to the home compared to what the interest will cost you long term. So bottom line for home improvements is unless you have the cash to pay for it, don't do it. Now, lastly, my number one best way to use a home equity line of credit here in 2024 is, you guessed it, real estate investing. But there are so many forms of real estate investing, and a HELOC is much more suited for some than for others. So how do you know which one to use your HELOC for? And how you decide this is totally reliant on my 3 golden rules on HELOC usage. Number 1, it needs to be short term. You should never hold a balance or a large balance on the HELOC for more than a year or 2. This means that you should definitely not be using your HELOC on a long-term rental property, especially as a down payment on a long-term rental property. And the reason for that is because the longer you hold a balance on the HELOC, the more susceptible and more risk that you're taking that market conditions, economic conditions can change, and they could leave you out to dry and completely choke off the investment that you made with the HELOC. Also, if you use a HELOC on a long-term buy and hold rental property, you're basically conceding the number one wealth building tool that real estate provides that no other investing strategy or investing method can provide, and that is the long-term fixed rate mortgage. The whole point of long-term buy and hold real estate investing is to basically have that fixed rate payment for 30 years where it never changes or very minimally changes, while inflation brings rents up and brings values up, all while you're also leveraged on the mortgage very, very safely. The only way that I would suggest using a HELOC on a buy and hold long-term rental property is using the BRRRR method. And this brings me to my second golden rule of HELOC usage, HELOC investing, and that is that you must always have an exit strategy. Let me go back a second. The BRRRR method stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. This is a very common and effective method that people use to invest in real estate. Just like it is explained, you buy a property, you rehab the property, you go rent it out, and then you go back to the bank and you do a cash out refinance on the new value based on the work that you did and the rent that you're now collecting. And the reason why I think this is the only way you should be using your HELOC on a long-term rental property, real estate investing wise, is because there's an exit strategy right there. The exit strategy in this situation would be the cash out refinance. And by exit strategy, I simply mean paying off the HELOC balance. So if you don't have an exit strategy or a way to pay off or pay back your HELOC balance in the short to medium term, simply do not do it. And lastly, my number 3 golden rule for HELOC usage and HELOC investing is to not over leverage. What do I mean by not over leverage? Well, this means you should not be taking money out of your HELOC that you have no other way to pay back other than that investment property, because then you're only one bad move away from having to completely lose that investment. Always have a backup plan and another income source or whatever, another source of money that you can pay off that HELOC balance if needed. Because another thing you need to know about as well is HELOC lenders, unlike traditional mortgage lenders, they can call that balance anytime they want to. So keep that in mind. Very, very important to know. Now, given these rules, my favorite way to use a HELOC is house flipping, or you could also do the BRRRR method that we already talked about if you're looking to build more long-term real estate wealth instead of just those quick paydays that house flipping provides. All in all, a HELOC is a very powerful tool in order to help yourself day to day as well as build wealth in real estate, but you need to understand that it is a loan product that puts a lien on your property and is attached to the house that you and your family live in. So you need to make smart decisions using risk strategically in order to build wealth using your HELOC quicker than you could than if you didn't have it at all. And hopefully this video makes those decisions a little bit easier for you. If you want more tips and tricks on using a HELOC in order to build wealth in real estate, definitely check out the HELOC playlist that I'll put in the corner up right here, as well as in the description box down below. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, drop a comment in the comment section down below, letting me know about what you think about my 3 top ways to use a HELOC, as well as my 3 golden rules on how to use your HELOC. Am I too conservative? Some of you say that. Am I too risky? Some other people say that as well. You could also visit me on my website, realjcosta.com, if you have any questions about using your HELOC. Would love to help you guys in any way that I can. And also drop a comment. I help you that way as well. Let me know in the comment section, and I will see you next time.